Louise Slaughter. Louise Slaughter, before she passed away, she took me aside and she reminded me, she said, this is an important issue and you take it very seriously. There was a great crime committed and you cannot let it pass. And I looked at her and I thanked her. So I want to say thank you to Louise Slaughter today, who I did not know but showed great kindness and grace to me in the one time I met with her.
Fight like Louise!
I am humbled to be a candidate for this position. I'm humbled from all the people I've met, the background parties, the pool parties, the fairgrounds. We've had a great time crisscrossing the state and seeing so many wonderful and good and decent people. I am humbled also because I come from a humble background, and to have this opportunity to run for this office, it's a great honor, and I feel a great duty to do the best that I can. I am disappointed and sad, however. I take no joy in the terrible news we heard today, and I would be wrong if I were to gloat. I'm sure Chris Collins and his family are going through a great amount of turmoil right now, and I'm not a person that takes joy in the failures of others. I'd rather celebrate the success and the accomplishments of others. But we must acknowledge the reality of what occurred. Today was a seal and a confirmation of what so many tried to keep secret and pretend wasn't true. It's a confirmation of what many have known and tried to get out, but is finally widely known by the public. That Chris Collins used his position not to serve the public, but to serve himself, his political friends, and his family. While he was bragging about making millionaires in D.C. and using the people's house for that purpose, he was not serving the people of NY27. He was not serving the people of Hamburg, of Albion, of Warsaw, of this district, the people that I have met. His behavior does not represent the values that I see and that I know exist here. NY27 is a place of good and decent people. People who work hard. But today is sadly a seal and confirmation of something else we all know is true. That for many of us just don't make it. And many of us are taken advantage of. They work their whole lives and see nothing but debt. They work their whole lives and never have access to a proper pension or health care. It's stolen from them. They work their whole lives and they never have the secret opportunities that Chris provided to his friends and family. This needs to change. The cheaters in this game need to be thrown out. We need an America that is fair and decent and good, like the people of NY27. And I promise to provide that type of leadership. But let us not make a mistake. The cheaters are still going to fight. They're still going to try to cheat. They're going to try to label me someone who has been a small-time supervisor, who has kept a balanced budget, who has increased surpluses, who has led us to the highest credit rating our town has ever had, who is an Eagle Scout, who is a father and a husband and a dad, that I'm some type of radical because I have a D next to my name. When is this game of party affiliation going to end, and when are we just going to vote for the best person? We need a system, not for cheaters, not for someone saying we own you because I have an R next to my name. No one owns your vote. My message remains the same now as it was when I first started this campaign or when I first had my press conference here and nobody showed up. That I am not owned, I am not a bot, and I'm not afraid of anybody. It's going to be a serious fight because we know how much they fight. We know what type of schemes they'll pull to make sure they have an advantage over other people. We know how they'll try to trick and twist the game. We have to fight back. So what I'm here to ask you, the people of NY27, the people I've met at those fairs, at those backyard parties, the people we've met all across this region, the people who work every day I'm asking you to vote for someone who's going to work and fight for you. I'm asking you to vote for Nate McMurray. What I also say is, America's for all of us. And if you haven't heard me speak before, you don't know my message, I ask you to come to my website. It's at votemcmurray.com. You can go to the donate slot part of the site. You can go to the volunteer part of the site. This has been as grassroots as it gets. No one thought we had a chance. No one thought we were in this. But we're going to be this into the end, and we're going to fight for you, not just until the election is over, while we're in D.C. You will know where I am. I will see you, and I'll be with you. With that, I'll take any questions you might have.
Do you think that Collins should resign?
I think Chris Collins should learn from what happened today and look at his heart and do the right thing.
Should he resign?
That's his decision to make. I leave it up to him, but I know what I would do if I was in his place.
Some have said, and you have admitted before too, you didn't have a whole lot of money in this race. Are you hearing from the DCCC?
My goodness, this has been quite a morning. We probably raised more this morning than we have in the whole race. It's not coming from dark sources. It's coming from $5 and $10 checks. It's coming from people across this region. It's an exciting time, and we are feeling more and more confident every single second.
You said you know what you would do if it were you. What would you do if it were you?
I'm going to leave it up to him. It's his decision. I think we know what you would do if you were facing the type of serious charges he's facing. And everybody out there has to understand, this is unprecedented. This is something that doesn't happen. It's a sad reality that this region, this beautiful region that we all love so much, our home, is represented by someone who's bringing such shame on our region.
Shame.
We need to find a way to bring back dignity to this position and bring back the honor that the people of Western New York deserve.
Nathan, given that you and Congressman Collins are on opposite ends of the political spectrum, how do you convince people who were once Collins supporters who are very turned off by this news today that they should go to the opposite side of the political spectrum?
Because look at my history. I'm not someone who worked my way up to the system. I'm someone who came out of nowhere. A couple of years ago, I wasn't in politics. I didn't grow up with a picture of John F. Kennedy on the wall. I grew up with a picture of Larry Bird on the wall. I had no dreams of being a big-time politician. I got into this because I wanted to help my community. I put my whole heart in serving my community with a heck of a lot of Republicans, that believe in me and support me, and that I consider my friends who have come over my house, who we're brothers and sisters with, and I will represent everybody. I'm not someone who is going to, my values are your values. I grew up in this region camping and swimming and being part of this place, and I will fight for the people of Western New York because I understand them, and my family's here, and I'm one of them.
You've embraced the grassroots initiative of your campaign. The past Governor Cuomo even wouldn't endorse you at that very moment that we asked him earlier. So my question to you is, if they want to come out and endorse you for NY27, would you still accept it?
We have to take all the support we can get. This is going to be a tough race no matter what. I talked about it before. They're going to keep coming at us. They're going to try to use their powers and their money. They still have more cash than we're ever going to have to twist the story and make it into something it's not. Now, whoever supports me, I'll take that support. We need to fight for this to win this race. But I'll tell you right now, when I get in office, I'm not going to say the things like Chris Collins said, that I'm fighting for my donors. I'm going to be fighting for the people of Western New York, the people that live right here. And if you look at my record and my history and who I am, you can see that's true. And you can see that's what I'm going to be.
Have you spoken with the governor or any higher-ups in Congress today?
No, I have not. I have not. And he's right. The last time I spoke with the governor, he was asking me to get out of the race. So, but I'm going to tell you right now, the governor, if we want to work on similar things that are going to help the people of Western New York, I'm more than happy to do that. I want to fight for what's right and for the people who live here and for my friends, my neighbor, and the people that I love.
Nate, have you checked in or looked into the possibility that Chris Collins can be replaced by somebody else?
I haven't had the opportunity to pursue that, but I'll tell you what, we knew this was coming. This is not some big surprise. I've been talking about this since the first day I got in the race. I got in the race because of this. I said, look, we can't have a guy representing us who's just trying to steal and cheat us.
Right.
The problem I have is, how come so many people close their eyes to it? How come I was receiving messages or comments from the leadership of the same people that nominated him, saying this is all a lie and garbage, and how he's going to be vindicated by the people of Western New York. If the people of Western New York vindicate this man for what he's done, considering this history, it's not just this issue, but the many, many, many issues that are building up. That's on them. But I believe in the people of NY27, and I think we are going to have a victory, and it's going to be a historic victory. And guess what? We're going to keep having victories for the people of NY27 for years to come, because I'm going to go to D.C., and I'm going to remember where I come from. I'm going to remember I'm one of 7 who grew up hungry with my mom, raising us by myself, and I'm going to be that same fighter I was on Sweeney Street in North Tonawanda for the rest of my life.
Who would you rather run against? An indicted Chris Collins or another Republican if they were able to replace him on the ballot?
I'm sticking to my message. I don't care who they replace me with. I'm on board. Look, I'm a person. I grew up, I grew up looking up to Ronald Reagan for what he represented. To me, he represented America in a lot of ways. But if a resurrected Ronald Reagan that's buff on steroids at 21 years old comes back, I'm still going to win this race.
Was insider trading an issue that you were ready to go after him on through this campaign?
Oh, yes. I mean, we weren't talking about it enough. The people, listen, every time we brought it up, we got the same message. That's not true. He didn't do it. It's made up. Well, did you see that press conference this morning? I mean, look at those facts. If you know prosecutors, they do not put together a message like that unless they are confident. They are very confident. Let's understand what happened here, guys. He used his position to enrich himself. And all of these surrogates and these people that helped him and propped him up should also be held accountable. If this wouldn't have come out, he very well may have just coasted in. Now it's time for us to ask ourselves, is this the type of leadership we want? And the people that backed him up, can you trust them?
No.
Can you trust them to back somebody else up? And I think the answer is no.
So do you plan to continue this message throughout your campaign now? Is this going to be a new message?
If you forget anything about this today, let's remember what I'm going to say. Remember who I am. And remember, my message is this. Middle class, middle class, middle class. I'll be fighting for middle class jobs, pensions. I'll be fighting for the people of Western New York. I'll be fighting for my neighbors and the people that just aren't quite making it, and no one's looking out for them. They're passing tax cuts that create a $2 trillion deficit in our country, that put Social Security and Medicare at risk. And meanwhile, people here are working 3 jobs and still not being able to pay their car insurance. I talk to them. I see them. We need someone who understands what that's like, and someone who's going to get out there and fight for them. I'm that person.
You brought up partisan politics earlier, and we've seen in other races across the country, in different parts of the country, Republican voters seeming to be very forgiving of transgressions against their candidates. Will this matter in November? Do you think it matters in this?
You know what? I think in this
Republican
country,
district?
I think in this country, party affiliation is less and less important. We see it. It's not the left-right divide anymore. It's the power-no power divide. And I'm going to be representing the people that don't have a power and need a voice. The system is out of whack. The leverage is out of whack. We need someone who's going to get in the room, someone who understands how this stuff works, someone who's willing to get dirty and who's not afraid of anybody, to say, I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for you, Hamburg. I'm going to fight for you, Orchard Park. I'm going to fight for you, Batavia. I'm going to fight for you, Canandaigua. I've been to these places many, many times. I've talked to as many people as I want. I know what they're going through. The people in Wall Street, the Chris Collins of the world, the insider traders of the world, they have enough people fighting for them. We need some people fighting for us. And I'm going to be that person. And with these good people behind me, we can do it. And they're going to keep me honest. They're going to keep me true, because they're going to remember me. They're going to remember me, how I started, and how I was lucky to be drawn into this, and how I kept true, how I denied dark money, how I kept true to my supporters, and how I kept true to the potluck and picnic methods in my campaign. And that's where we're going to be from now on and going forward.
Nate, What's your response to the criticism that you have from your opponents that you live outside of the district and shouldn't represent them?
I'm glad you asked that. Listen, that district used to include New Rochelle, New York. You guys understand that? That's New York City.
Chris got arrested at his apartment in New York City.
NY 27 used to include New York City, where Chris was arrested this morning. It shifted and changed over the last 200 years in all kinds of weird ways. The fact that it doesn't include some place where I live right now, I'm going to use the Sarah Palin line. I can see the NY 27 from my house. My family lives across the district. They live in Alden, they live in Arcade, they live in Batavia. We have people across the district. My ancestors came here and they built the Erie Canal.
Whoa.
That canal water flows in my veins. For them to say I'm not of NY 27 is a joke. I clearly am. This is my people. I started here, Erie Community College. I'm a guy who worked his way up. When I go across this district, I'm not visiting a strange, exotic land. I'm visiting my home. And I'm going to fight for my home. Any more questions? We good? Listen, thank you for coming. Let me say it one more time. America deserves better. Let's go.